Hello there, folks. I believe it's September 5th on a Thursday evening. Haven't done one of these in a little bit, so figured I was due. Was hoping to get my report out today. Looks like it's going to come out tomorrow, I hope. There's a possibility it could be Saturday. Tomorrow's stacking up on me pretty bad, but um, having to record this in the office because it's just flat miserable out there. We're still talking, 90 plus degrees. It's just miserable. It's been a miserable summer. So there was a couple nice weeks in the middle of August there. One thing that we had our fair there 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, and um, that ended on a funny note. We had my wife and I had joked that Saturday evening was our time. Once 4-H was over and the sale was done, we had two kids doing that. Their steers were sold. It's like, let's earmark Saturday evening. We're gonna sit under the awning of the trailer. Hopefully, we were camped around friends. Um, that was our time to sit in the lawn chair, have a beverage, barbecue something, and relax. And as soon as that auction got over on Saturday, here came the storm, and I ran home to do fire watch, and I mean, you just gotta laugh about it. The thing hit with the fairgrounds with 70-mile-an-hour winds, and that normally doesn't get that down in that hole where the fairgrounds are, and um, the vendors, the tents just got all balled up and rolled and went flying across the place, and the torrential rains hit, and it was absolute disaster zone. I went down there hoping I could, with no fire, the fire threat was over. I thought, okay, let's go at least, have a beverage under the awning and wind this down. Well, when I showed up, I thought, oh man, this is a disaster zone. So you gotta laugh at stuff like that. And nobody got hurt. I mean, the rodeo got canceled. The trees all blew both directions of the road, so you couldn't get in or out of the place for an hour or two. And the power went out. So anyway, so yeah, fall. I hope fall's in the air. I mean, we got seems like another 5 days of heat, and then there's a big trough off the coast that is hopefully going to meander our way and bring us some water. Um, I know the North Central gang of the Pacific Northwest and the wheat belt are actively putting their wheat seeds down about 6-8 inches or 6 inches, and don't want it to rain for a couple of weeks. But models are not giving me good tolls where I can confidently say yes, it's going to rain. No, it's not going to rain. We still got a third of the models suggesting the ridge remains, but we cool off some, and the other model says we get wet and the low parks over us and close enough to bring us some showers each day. So we'll see what happens. The reason for the video, I've just couple of things. One, I did that corn presentation last week to the Pioneer Seed Group, which forced me to really bear down on those corn balance sheets. And then two, I was visiting with a friend yesterday, and we were talking about the wheat market and how we approach it. Things have changed so much on the computer side. We approach it via, what are the computers going to trade, instead of, what are the pit guys seeing? Why is the market doing this? What news have we factored in? Have we not factored in? And it's so much different than it used to be. But one thing that struck out to me when I got involved with the market side of it after I moved home from college, there was a peer I had who was a very good fundamental analyst, and I learned an incredible amount of material from him, and I liked his approach to the markets, and so I followed along with him for years and would talk to him daily, and I'm sure he got tired of me, um, but he used to look at that stocks to usage and those exporter numbers and the demand. I mean, I do that, a lot of that in my reports, but it is so striking right now to me. Was going over that yesterday with that friend. It's like this is the 5th year of flat demand. One thing that's never happened before. The second thing is USDA is not going to give us a final demand number for, probably a year, or at least, 8 months, 9 months from now. And so they've been gradually increasing. It started at 797 million metric tons on the world, and now we're up to 805. I've been claiming this year, I said this last year, I bet we end somewhere around 820. And what's amazing is if we factor in 820, that uses up all the excess U.S. wheat. It uses up, it goes beyond tighter than it is on paper if we use up all the U.S. wheat, because they still got the EU crop, them being USDA, they still have the USDA crop, or the EU crop, too high by at least 6-7 million metric tons. So you take that 6 or 7 off, increase demand by 15. It's crazy tight, just crazy. And so what does it take to see if we're right and see if that's going to happen? Well, I mean, the proof is in the exports. We've got to have exports. We've got to have big numbers. And as a whole country, the U.S. has been doing very well the last 6 weeks, or 7, 8 weeks. And so, I mean, you've seen the graph that I've posted. You've got white wheat more than double last year's pace. You got hard red spring almost double last year's pace. Hard red winter's up about 40%. So exports are happening, and I can't wait for tomorrow's number. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning and we'll wait around till 5:30 when that's released, and I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be another good number. I've been very happy with the pace of white wheat sales. I've been very happy with the price performance of white wheat. I mean, you've got pockets in the Pacific Northwest who've got wheat piled on wheat. They got wheat piled on the street, and it gives the impression that we're never going to get through that. And, there's a possibility that's true if Portland doesn't have capacity. But if Portland has capacity and can fit that in with their strong bean and corn programs, those stocks are going to be looking pretty small by May. So, and here's where it gets even better. And this is the part that my primary reason for the video is, as we go into next year, I mean, the next year is being determined right now. This is fall seeding. The window is open, and everybody's making their decisions. And they look at the wheat price, and they say, "Why would I ever raise this? It's $1.50 below the cost of production. It'd be silly to raise wheat." And this is a worldwide thing. And so, how, as a globe, are we going to meet an 820 plus million metric ton demand base with less acres than we have last year? It's incredible to me. I just look at this and I just think, well, that's impossible. We've got to expand acreage. I mean, the market is punishing anyone who's raised the stuff, or anyone who wants to raise the stuff. They are punishing them, saying, don't do it, you're going to lose. Yet, on the balance sheet side, it should be rewarding anyone who raises it and encouraging more production, encouraging more acres. And that is not happening. Okay, India had a good crop this year, yet their prices are almost as high as last year when they had the shortage. And so India's a big deal because they're, shoot 110 million metric tons a year, while, production's around 800 a year. So they're 1/8 of the production, over 1/8. And then you've got the Russian dryness on top of it. You've got nothing in the 7-day forecast. There's nothing, zero coming in, zero change. There was a hint of some rains in the real fertile southern region that's right on that mountain range. And that, that area is kind of like the Palouse in Washington. It's just not going to have a bad crop. It'll have a down year, but it's not going to have a bad crop. That it's close enough to the mountains, and it's good dirt. you're just never going to have a disaster there. But um, that's the only location that's going to see rain in the Russian wheat belt. Now Ukraine might get some rain out of that, and that'll help, because right now Ukraine is high and dry, but it's early yet. They've got incredible soil there too, incredible climate for wheat. It's the perfect climate, so it's early yet for that area. So I don't, we'll see if those rains materialize or not. If they do, it's not surprising. Ukraine's probably going to produce a decent crop. But Russia, they've got that main central district, the Volga district and the central Russian district. That's got to go in early. Okay, that's got to be done planting for a good crop. It needs to be in and established by September 20. And becoming established. And right now it's too dry to plant. Some guys are dusting it in. Some guys are saying, no, we're not going to plant. So if this pattern doesn't change, okay, that forecast with that slight chance of rain in the south district, I mean, that was a 240-hour forecast. So that's 10 days out there. Or mine actually was 300 hours out there. So add another, 60 hours. So that was a 15-day forecast. So there's nothing in the 10-day. So that takes us out September, was it 5th to the 15th with not a drop. So it's going to be very difficult to establish. Now those long-range forecasts, they're always subject to change. It seems like they'll say nothing, 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 and then something's there 3 days out, and then it happens. So anyway, certainly worth watching. But I just beside myself looking at these numbers, and we've had good results and good price action in the past based on following these numbers in past years. The last year and a half, we haven't had any performance out of this. It's just been like, well, don't look at that. It does no good at all. So, but at some point, we're getting tight enough where it's going to matter. White wheat, I mean, we got a lot of white wheat. I wish we had our own terminal. We could just export wheat, but we're going to have to fight our way through the corn and soybean programs to get our stuff through. So we may be stuck with a little higher stocks than we'd like. We'll see what the world market does. But very encouraged to see white wheat jump 20 cents this week on those first 2 days of the week. Obviously more business is getting done. Backed off a little today with the futures, but someone's just playing the basis. I don't know if it's one commercial or a couple of them, but they've got a basis number on white wheat that they want to keep versus Chicago, and that's what they're doing. So anyhow, that's about all I know for now. I wish I could give you a good firm park the drills, it's going to rain, keep going, it's not going to rain, but can't do that yet. Right now I'd be kind of in the camp that says might not rain much, so you're probably not going to deal with a big crust issue, but we'll see as we go. So sorry about these awkward videos. They're always awkward for me. I'm not a fan of talking in front of a camera, but it gives you an idea what tomorrow's report is going to be about, and wanted to get you something now while the market's starting to move. Like I say, I'm encouraged. Technically it looks great. Small reversal today down, and it didn't close that bad. We'll see if we get a little more tomorrow, and then Monday will be a big day. It'd be neat to see this thing strengthen on Monday. So anyhow, that's all I got. So as always, call with questions, and I will try to get that report out to you next day or two. Thanks.